here's a picture of little Eddie Heckerman with his 124 Kodak Instamatic camera a few years ago. I'm going to show you how to retouch this image, which was scanned from the original negative. It's quite scratched up and dusty, so this is probably too much work to do in RAW, which I showed in my digital demo number 2. So I'm going to open this up into Photoshop and show you how to do this. Basically, there's really only a couple things you need to do. This is going to be short and sweet. Is create a little layer here. Notice it's a clear layer. So it's not adding a whole lot of information and it's not adding a lot of size to your file as a duplicate layer would. You could also do this by creating a duplicate layer, but this is a better method. You're really only going to need your spot healing brush to do this. You could conceivably use your clone tool and get satisfactory results. It used to be that was what we used before the spot healing brush came along some years later. Nowadays I just use the spot healing brush. So I'm going to zoom into about 200%. A lot of people only retouch at 100%, but you really can't see everything at 100%, so I recommend 200%. 300 would definitely be overkill. Usually what I do is I start from the bottom left-hand corner of the image, and I just scroll through it like this. Now you could also start from the top left-hand corner. Some people like to create a grid when they do this. I find it a little distracting, so I generally don't. Whatever you do, just stick to some sort of a system. To save time right now, I'm just going to focus on this area because it's the most messed up area. And I'm going to click on my spot healing brush, and I can come up here to change the size and hardness and spacing of the brush if I want to. I can also use the brackets on my keyboard to make this brush bigger and smaller. So I'm going to do that. Notice I have up here sample all layers. So if I've also already worked with my levels and curves and color balance and so forth with various adjustment layers, this sampling would work for all of those layers. So I'm just going to drag my mouse and get as much of that as I can. Beautiful, huh? So I'm just going to kind of paint in these areas that need to be improved. Probably an image like this would take a good hour to fully retouch. I'll just do a little bit right here. I'm not going to take an hour of your time up. Pretty good, huh? This brush is really improved. It used to be as you came to a high contrast area like that, it wouldn't do a good job and you'd have to use the cloning tool. Nowadays, I'm not having that problem, and I'm assuming that's because, not because I've gotten better at retouching, but oops, if I do make a mistake, I want to go Command Z and go back. Now right here, see, that didn't work. Oh, this time it worked. I could use the cloning tool instead if that didn't work. Okay, so I want to be careful not to necessarily retouch out things that I want to keep. I once, actually the one and only time I ever hired anybody to do some retouching for me, the young man actually thought I mistook cigarette butts for dust, and he retouched out the cigarette butts, and actually they were a pretty integral part of the image. So usually it's better to do things yourself rather than delegate this kind of detail work, because it's part of the aesthetic. In any event, that's it. Now if I click on this little eye, you can see that information is still there. All I have to do is throw away my layer, and I will, if I throw away my layer, I go back to my original file. So this is a completely non-destructive method for retouching. If you have a lot of retouching to do, I recommend you do it in Photoshop rather than Camera Raw. That's it for today, and I'll be back with another demo soon. Have a wonderful day.